Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we're going to explore a really fascinating and frankly pretty eye-opening topic. Today, we're taking a highly focused look at the hidden chemical trade-offs inside 10 of our absolute favorite everyday products. You know, the things we reach for before we've even had our morning coffee, and ironically, sometimes we use them to actually make that coffee. We're going to look closely at the awesome benefits these products offer, but we're also peeling the label to reveal the complex chemistry hiding right underneath.
So, I want you to picture your normal daily routine for just a second. You wake up, maybe you wash your hair, boil some water for tea, grab a bottle of water for the commute, and maybe you pick up some fast food on your lunch break. It all feels so normal, familiar, and completely safe, right? But I want us to really consider the invisible chemical price we might be paying for all these modern conveniences that we rely on so heavily. What exactly are we absorbing, inhaling, and ingesting along the way? To answer that, we're going on a bit of a toxic tour of a typical day. Here's our agenda. 1. The true cost of convenience. 2. Toxins in the bathroom. 3. Microplastics in the kitchen. 4. Packaging and household cleaning risks. And 5. Empowering your daily choices.
Okay, Section 1. The true cost of convenience. I want to start by validating exactly why we use these 10 products in the first place. I mean, we use them because they save us incredible amounts of time and effort. They make our hair super soft, our homes smell amazing, and our food really easy to carry. But the science is telling us we need to look just a little bit closer.
To really understand why this matters, we have to look to Exposomics. This is the study of how a lifetime of chemical exposure from our environment, our diet, and our lifestyle impacts our health. The crucial thing to understand here is that consumer products don't just consist of one chemical. Think of it as a giant mix bag of daily, repeated exposure. Drinking from one plastic bottle or using one heavily fragranced lotion, that won't hurt you overnight. But it's about that cumulative effect. You know, the daily buildup from multiple sources over an entire lifetime. And this brilliantly illustrates our top 10 list of everyday items, mapping them right against their invisible chemical costs. We've got conveniences like plastic kettles, fabric softeners, and fast food wrappers on one side, and the hidden culprits they introduce on the other. We're talking about things like BPA, phthalates, PFAS forever chemicals, and of course microplastics.
Moving right along to Section 2. Toxins in the bathroom. Let's start our daily tour exactly where most of us begin our mornings, right in the bathroom. This is a place where we are just surrounded by products designed to make us feel clean, fresh, and protected for the day ahead.
Take shampoo, for instance. We all love that thick, luxurious lather that cleans our hair so well. But the reality is, many shampoos are formulated with a cocktail of chemicals that your skin actually absorbs pretty easily. We're talking about parabens, ethanolamines, and even formaldehyde-releasing preservatives like DMDM-hydantone. These chemicals are usually added to increase shelf life or create that awesome foam, but they can act as endocrine disruptors, which basically means they can actively scramble your body's hormonal signals.
Then, we apply sunscreen to protect ourselves. Obviously a great habit. But check out these specific UV filters found in a lot of conventional brands: benzophenone, homosalate, octinoxate, and oxybenzone. While they absolutely provide excellent sun protection, they're also heavily scrutinized by health organizations. The data links these specific chemicals to organ system toxicity, meaning they can actually stress your internal organs and cause further hormonal disruption. So it's this classic trade-off between immediate protection and long-term chemical absorption.
All right, Section 3. Microplastics in the kitchen. Let's step out of the bathroom and see how this exposure builds as we walk into the kitchen to prep our morning coffee, tea, and maybe pack up a lunch.
Let's look at the mechanism of exposure here. Plastic kettles are super convenient. They boil water fast, they're lightweight, and hey, they won't shatter if you accidentally drop them. But research from Trinity College Dublin shows that the intense heat actually breaks down the polypropylene polymer bonds right there in the kettle. When you boil water above 100 degrees Celsius, it leaches an astounding 10 million invisible microplastic particles straight into your water. Yeah, 10 million.
And if you're making tea with that water using one of those modern silky pet tea bags, well, brace yourself. A study from McGill University found that a single plastic tea bag, steeped at 95 degrees Celsius, releases a staggering 11.6 billion microplastics, plus another 3.1 billion nanoplastics, into just one hot cup of tea. It is a massive, invisible dose of plastic with literally every single sip.
And the problem definitely doesn't stop at hot beverages. When comparing tap water to bottled water, scientists found microplastics in 90% of global water bottles.
In one major brand, Nestle Pure Life, they found up to 10,000 plastic particles per liter. And here's the really scary part. If those PET plastic water bottles are exposed to extreme heat, like, say, sitting in a hot car, they can release a heavy metal called antimony, which is a known carcinogen directly into the water you're about to drink.
Which brings us to Section 4, Packaging and Household Cleaning Risks. Now we move on to lunch on the go and afternoon household chores. This is where single-use packaging and modern cleaning supplies offer absolute peak convenience for our super busy lives.
So, when you grab takeout, things like fast food wrappers, microwave popcorn bags, and pizza boxes are incredible at stopping grease from leaking everywhere. But they achieve this because they're coated with PFAS, which are often called forever chemicals. When your hot, greasy burger sits in that wrapper, the heat actually causes those PFAS chemicals to migrate directly into your food. Once ingested, these forever chemicals are linked to really serious issues like thyroid dysfunction, metabolic disorders, and immune suppression.
And for your leftovers, notice the recycling codes the American Academy of Pediatrics urges us all to avoid. Code 3 is PVC, Code 6 is styrofoam, and Code 7 often contains BPA. These materials are notorious for containing plasticizers like phthalates and bisphenols. And the golden rule here? Absolutely never put these in the microwave. Microwaving drastically accelerates the chemical leaching, transferring all those hormone-disrupting toxins right into your meal.
After lunch, it's chore time. We love fabric softeners, air freshener plugins, and disposable cleaning wipes because, well, they leave our homes smelling amazing, and they clean up messes really fast. But the reality is quite different. Fabric softeners actually build up in your washer and coat your towels in a residue that totally destroys their absorbency. Meanwhile, those air freshener plugins, they don't clean the air at all. They actively pollute your indoor air with synthetic fragrances and volatile chemicals. And those handy disposable cleaning wipes leave a trail of harsh synthetic disinfectants on your counters and, of course, all over your hands.
Finally, Section 5, Empowering Your Daily Choices. As we conclude our tour today, I want to focus on an empathetic landing, because the goal of this explainer is absolutely not to create fear or make anyone panic. The goal is entirely to empower you with easy, actionable solutions.
I really love this quote from our sources. Perfection isn't necessary with non-toxic living, nor is it even possible. Aim for mindfulness over perfection. Please, you do not need to grab a garbage bag right now and throw everything in your house away. That's expensive, it's wasteful, and it's just stressful. The most sustainable way to reduce your chemical exposure is through slow, gradual replacements. Basically, when you run out of a product, simply make a better choice for the next one.
Let's look at some rapid, highly affordable kitchen swaps you can make over time. These will immediately and drastically cut down your daily ingestion of microplastics and heavy metals. Swap out your plastic kettle for a glass or stainless steel one. Ditch those silky PET bags for traditional paper bags, or better yet, a loose-leaf metal infuser. Switch your daily plastic water bottle to a reusable stainless steel one, and start saving old glass jars or buying ceramic containers to store your leftover food safely. For the household and bathroom, try out these budget-friendly habits. Honestly, you can ditch the fabric softener entirely and just put a little white vinegar in the rinse cycle. It softens clothes safely, and it is incredibly cheap. Instead of toxic air fresheners, just open a window for some fresh air or use a small HEPA purifier. If you must use disposable cleaning wipes for convenience, always wash your hands immediately after to get that chemical residue off. And finally, download free apps like Clearia or the EWG skincare database so you can scan the barcodes of your shampoo and sunscreen before you even buy them.
So, the crucial point here is that your daily, repeated choices are what actually shape your long-term health. It's really not about being perfect, it's just about being aware. By turning the bottle around, reading the label, and making some small changes, you can radically reduce your exposure to hidden toxins. I'll leave you with this question to think about and act on right away. Looking around your home right now, which one item will you swap out today? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy, healthy learning.